If you've been in this room before, chances are you've been at one of our National Thought Leader series. What we choose to do is to focus on a topic and do a speaking series across Canada. Last fall, we did a series also on employee engagement, but from a slightly different angle. In that particular tour, we actually partnered with some authors from our publishing division in the United States called Amicom, and brought in the two authors, and we toured them across Canada to talk about what's happening with employee engagement. The two consultants were from the Hay Group. It was a great discussion. We had great feedback, but again, it was glaringly obvious that it was sad, really, that we have to bring in US consultants to tell us about employee engagement and not have any Canadian source data to work with. So we decided we wanted to fix that and fill that void. So what are we going to cover today? First of all, we're just going to start with the basic definition of engagement. One of the things that was very interesting last year in the Thought Leader series was as we toured across Canada, it became very, very clear that employee engagement has a different definition to just about everybody. Then we're going to talk about the overview of the report. As I said, the report is just in its final stages. It's about 150 pages long in total, and we're going to share with you some of the top-line findings of the report today. We're also going to give you some of the emerging trends. We've got some really interesting trending data, and I'll tell you right now, the story is not good. Not good at all. Then we're going to focus on one particular area. In the commentary that Amy's going to go through in a few moments, we're going to share with you details of an employee engagement model that really is the first of its kind because it's mathematically driven. It's not just words, it's the math of employee engagement of the Canadian workforce. And one of the things that that showed us is that there is a fundamental issue with senior leaders and their impact downward on employee engagement levels in Canada. And one of the jump-off points to that is what is their impact in terms of creating trust, and what is their impact in terms of creating confidence in the workforces that they manage and lead. Let's start with a common level-setting definition of employee engagement. For the purposes of today's discussion and for the purposes of the report, we're talking about employee engagement is how each individual employee connects both emotionally and intellectually with your company and with your customers. So one of the first components is involvement. Do employees actually feel enabled to make a contribution at the organization that they're with? Number two is alignment. Do employees actually understand and support the direction that the organization is pursuing? Moreover, do they know what their role is in making that happen? Number three is satisfaction. Do employees feel satisfied with their role? Do they feel satisfied with the environment that they actually work in? And the last element is loyalty. Do employees actually intend to stay with the organization that they're with? And do they feel so good about that organization that they'd recommend others to join the organization as well? I mentioned one of the major reasons that we did this partnership with Ipsos was because employee engagement is definitely on the minds of many of our clients. We had a very strong amount of feedback during our Fall Thought Leader series, and there's still a lot of burning issues around employee engagement. One of them is, how do I get my senior leaders involved in employee engagement? They're critical to engaging the employee base. Another one is, what action steps can I take and know definitively that those action steps will actually drive higher engagement levels? Because we'll talk about it in a few moments, that we want to change the conversation from just observation and comment and start to make it into an actionable, predictive model. So let's focus on the study. All the field work was done in August, so all the data is very, very fresh. We actually polled 1,200 Canadian employees from right across Canada. For the first time ever, though, we also polled almost 500 HR professionals at exactly the same time with exactly the same questionnaire so that we could actually get a comparison between the outlook of Canadian workforce employees as compared to the outlook of HR professionals in the companies that manage those employees. So we have also some very interesting findings when we do the comparison. It's the first time it's ever been done. In all, respondents to the survey represent over 25 different sectors, and they represent over 500 different companies. In terms of the profile, we specifically asked for people who belong to companies of 100 employees or more. We also screened for full-time rather than part-time workers. When we look at tenure, we wanted people with 1 year tenure or more, And on the high end, we've got people that are in the respondent base at 15 to 20 years of tenure. And in terms of jobs, we did ask what particular job function you hold, and it goes right across the gamut. So it's a very, very highly representative sample of the workforce in Canada. The other thing we did is we also asked confidentially if the person would share the name of the organization that they currently work with so that we had a good understanding of who we were getting information from. And this is just a sampling of the respondents' companies that are in the research report. Again, over 500. Great representative sample, lots of diversity in industry sectors, and certainly representative of the Canadian workforce.